Dames en heren, goedemiddag. Hartelijk welkom bij mijn openbaar les. Ik ben Shengyun Yang. Voor mijn collega's en vrienden ben ik ook Annie. Ik kom uit Shanghai, China. Ik kwam naar Nederland om mijn hoger onderwijs te vervolgen. Ik ben gepromoveerd aan de Rotterdam School of Management, Erasmus University. Mijn onderzoeken en de praktische toepassing zijn gericht op Business Information Management. Sinds 2019 werk ik bij het kenniscentrum Business Innovation, Hogeschool Rotterdam. Het is een groot eer voor mij om de benoeming van lector Digital Business aan Hogeschool Rotterdam te accepteren door middel van deze openbaar les, getiteld Turning Data into Strategic Assets, a must-do of digital transformation for SMEs. My son is now 5 years old. Every morning, a kid's robot wakes him up. Then he starts talking with her, asking her to play his favorite song, You Are My Sunshine. Every afternoon after school, he reads books on his pad. 2 months ago, he came home with great excitement and told me, Mom, I had my first programming lesson today. Wow, said I, you can do something that I couldn't at your age. Very often, the conversation between my son and me touches upon the subjects like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data that I usually talk in my work. My son represents a truly digital native who was born in this digital world, and I represent a digital immigrant who became familiar with the technologies a bit later in my life. Many striking innovations nowadays to us would be very common to this digital generation. Digital transformation is evident in our daily lives. It has also captured much enthusiasm from both academia and business world. What is digital transformation? A common misconception about digital transformation is that it is merely about the adoption of technologies. Digital transformation is actually an evolutionary process. This process involves the disruptive implications of the advanced digital technologies. This process leads to change of different spheres of an organization, such as business process, organizational structure, product development, and it may also enable new business models. Successful digital transformation allows companies to gain many remarkable benefits, such as increased capabilities, improved business process, better customer experiences and engagement, streamlined operations, and sustained competitiveness. From business perspective, digital transformation is a complex and immense field. Many stories of digital winners we've heard are fast-moving startups, high-tech companies, and large corporates. However, their stories are not applicable for small and medium-sized enterprises. SMEs cannot replicate their successful experiences. Then, what can SMEs do with digital transformation? Turning data into strategic assets is a key strategy of digital transformation for SMEs. Nowadays, each company, large or small, possesses rich amounts of data. However, the data has not been well exploited to create more value for the business. They are just like the treasures in the treasure chest that need to be unlocked. Therefore, improving the use of data, turning data into actionable insights is a must-do of digital transformation for SMEs. To harness data, companies need to move toward data-driven, which is a process of using data to inform decision-making. Data-driven decision-making aims to unveil the substantial value of data by deriving insights from it. It is a value creation process. Once a company decides to move towards data-driven organization, it should be prepared for a series of changes, just like a domino effect. It should develop a data strategy, create the culture of data-driven that values analytics, innovation, and questioning minds. it should give full commitment and support to this transformation. Invest in facilities and people, and encourage leadership. Although a clear data strategy is required, no transformation can be planned fully in advance. The data strategy can be treated as a living approach, building on the previous small data projects. Therefore, to SMEs, the best way of starting this transformation is to initiate a small data project. To start a data project, first, a business question needs to be asked. For example, which customers are most likely to churn? How can the movement of the items through the supply chain be planned to minimize the inventory levels? Subsequently, the available data resources need to be identified. Do we already have the relevant data? Do we need to collect additional data? When the data is available, it needs to be processed and explored. Next, the results need to be communicated to the decision makers. The results here are insights derived from the data. Afterwards, the application of the results and how it will be used to power the business function need to be designed. The project does not stop after implementation. The solution needs to be evaluated in order to make improvement and updates. Gradually, a company may seek to scale a small data project into larger data projects that will have a higher business impact. The data-driven approach needs to be enterprise-wide. Especially, SMEs should encourage bottom-up data initiatives. Because employees know what's happening in the front line, they are likely to ask the most relevant and practical business questions and help solve the problems with their own domain expertise. Executives and managers can actively consider the opportunities and the threats of data-driven approach and act to create their own data advantages. It should be emphasized that turning data into strategic assets requires not only analytical skills, but also domain knowledge. While the analytical works can be outsourced to the external parties, a company should prioritize hiring or cultivating its own data-savvy leaders. These data-savvy leaders should have the domain knowledge and ensure the alignment between the company's data projects and the organization's goals. These data-savvy leaders are also bilingual speakers. On one hand, they can communicate with data science team in data science jargon, and on the other hand, they can communicate the analytical results with the decision makers in business jargon. The complexity of turning data into strategic assets motivates me and my colleagues to carry out research into this field, and also contribute to the main research theme of digital economy in the Research Center Business Innovation. The central research question is, how can small and medium-sized enterprises act more competitively by exploiting data to create more value? To answer this research question, we will examine the current and expected data maturity of SMEs, explore the business strategies for SMEs to improve their organizational performance by using data, understand the SME's perception of investment in data-driven decision-making, identify the critical success factors for SMEs to turn data into strategic assets, and investigate into challenges of using data, such as security, ethics, and veracity. We aim to synthesize research, practice, and education. Therefore, we also focus on implications for business strategies. Based on the results drawn from our research, we attempt to provide SMEs with useful deliverables, such as a handbook of data technologies and applications, frameworks of business strategies for using data, and a case repository of data use in SMEs. Furthermore, to help our students enhance their data literacy and understand the data-driven approach in an organization, we will develop research projects and learning materials for our students. We will also strengthen our relationship with the industry and bring the industry to the classroom. To conclude, data is the cornerstone for digital transformation. To fully realize the impressive potential of data, data-driven approach is of paramount importance. Therefore, turning data into strategic assets is a must-do of digital transformation for SMEs. Let's harness our digital future. Let's embrace the collective intelligence. Let's dare to change, and let's change the face of business.